Namaste. That's a standard greeting in Nepal. I arrived back from Nepal on Sunday evening. It's currently Tuesday evening, and I went back to school today and feeling pretty jet lagged, but I know that God's going to help me recover. So I just want to take a few minutes and tell you about my time in Nepal. So 11 of us teachers from across the United States flew out for 12 days to Nepal, and it was just so amazing how well we were all able to bond, considering we were strangers. We really only had two things in common: love for Jesus and a love for teaching, and that was able to just bring us together and create so much love within our group. It was just a real blessing. So the focus of our trip was to team with some Nepali teachers to put on what they called the Bridge of Hope Teachers Conference in far west Nepal, which was a 3-day conference where we offered training to teachers in a rural part of Nepal, which is not something that they ever really get. Essentially, this will be the only training for teachers offered in that region of Nepal for the whole year. These teachers teach in various different circumstances than we do. They have different access to resources. Their schools are operated differently, and they don't have the access to the professional development and training that we have. But it was really just so encouraging to get to work with them, to find out about their culture, and it was a wonderful opportunity for me to get to reflect on what really matters most as a teacher. It's not the number of copies I can print off the copy machine, and it's not the amount of time my students can spend working on internet-based activities. What really matters most is the student-teacher relationships, and the fact that through those relationships, learning can occur. And so, although it was challenging at times, teaching in 95-degree weather with no air conditioning, and teaching teachers that I didn't have a common language, it was also very rewarding. And I think I believe the teachers there, for the most part, really, if nothing else, they were able to expand their thought process on what it means to be a teacher and how they can view instruction in their classroom. We also spent some time, a few days, visiting some children's homes, in particular a couple girls' homes in Nepal. And having daughters myself, I'm always just extremely touched by that, and just kind of broke my heart for children around the world that are fatherless. The girls in the home, as well as many of the students in several of the schools that we were providing the training for, are sponsored. These students are sponsored by Serve Life, and so if you ever are looking for a child to sponsor, I know they're always looking for people to sponsor the kids there. On one of the last days in Nepal, we were in the capital city of Kathmandu, and we had some time to tour some of the local Hindu and Buddhist temples. And although we were trying to just look at it as a tourism experience, it was very difficult for many of us, because as we walked through the temples and saw the golden idols and saw the people performing various rituals of worship, there was a definite darkness amongst us, or a sense of darkness in our souls. And so many of us, as we walked around the streets, were just praying in the Spirit, praying that God's light and God's truth would be revealed to these people. It's so easy, I think, in America for us to kind of forget the powers of good and evil, because we live in a culture that has been accustomed to Christianity and Christian values, but a lot of times traveling outside of our comfort zone, it's great to, in some ways it's challenging, but it's also good to experience God's Spirit, because in order to fully feel the strength and the power and the beauty of God's Spirit, sometimes it takes moments of darkness to help you to realize the light that can shine through. So that was a challenging time, but also a good time of learning. One of my favorite parts about being in Nepal was the monkeys. There were wild monkeys in Nepal, and that's not something I'm used to. So as we toured some of the other areas where they had temples and whatnot, there were just monkeys, dozens and dozens of monkeys just jumping around, and we fed some of them cookies, and they were very comfortable around humans, so they were just right there interacting with you, and that brought a lot of joy to my heart. So I really, really enjoyed the monkeys. I'm extremely grateful for my time in Nepal. It was a wonderful learning opportunity, an opportunity to be reminded of God's truth and God's love for all people, a good chance for me to reflect on my role as a teacher, and just a good chance for me to be reminded of the passion God's put in me for the fatherless. And I know that that's not possible without your support. So I just want to thank all of you for your prayers, for your financial support, for your willingness to support me and support God's work as He loves people all around the world. If you have any more questions or want to know more about Nepal, feel free to contact me. Love you all. Namaste.